Hey, Michelle with Treecat here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're catching this. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Treecat chat today. I wanted to talk about the top 9 things that you can do or maybe should be doing as a seller before Black Friday. And the reason I want to talk about this is because we are just about, I don't know, uh, 20 days until Black Friday. Yeah, this is my blog where I talk about it. And you can access my blog if you go to blog.treecat.io. And it's just some tips for you if you're interested in finding out what you can do here to make your life a little bit less stressful, maybe give yourself a little bit of a boost in sales before Black Friday, and yeah, just to make things go a little bit more smoothly, because this is the biggest buying period of the year, really. I mean, so we've got 20 days till Black Friday. We've got about 37 days until December 15th, which is the last day that you can ship probably on time to your buyers. And so between November 28th and December 15th, this is like the peak, right? The peak season for sellers. And a lot of sellers, that's when they make their most sales, right? They really rely on that time frame, especially if they're selling giftable items, because this is the peak holiday season. Now there are, hopefully we're going to see, I don't know, some people are complaining that their sales are not that great right now because of the economy and things like that, layoffs and government shutdowns and things like that. People are holding onto their pocketbooks a little bit better or a little bit more. But I still think that there are some things that we need to think about, right? Before Black Friday. And one of those things, so let's see. So this is just me reiterating, we have 20 days until Black Friday. We have 37 days until December 15th, which is the last day that you can safely ship to your customers. And between the November 28th and December 15th is your opportunity, right? It's a big opportunity. So we want to take advantage of that. So I think the first thing that you want to think about is getting more items listed and cross-listed during this, because we know that gives you a boost, right? You know that gives you more impressions, more visibility. It shows activity in your store. So set yourself a goal. I did this back in September, and for the first half of the month, I listed 20 items, cross-listed 20 items, relisted 20 older stale items, and ran my Poshmark bot all day and at the nightly parties. I did see a significant lift in sales. I did not do anything the last part of the month, and I still, really increased my sales quite a bit. And it didn't take a lot of effort to do this, but you do have to have a goal in mind, I think, and stick to that goal. What's the second thing you can do? Price with room to discount. People, like I said, people are concerned right now. They're a little bit, being more conservative with their money right now. So if you know that you're going to run discounts of, say, 15 to 25%, maybe you're making offers, maybe you're going to be lowering your price, what have you. Maybe, so what you're going to want to do in that case is just kind of price 10 to 20% higher. With that in mind. And I'm telling you, people, it's important to have those good deals right now, because like I said, people are not they're not into big spending right now. What's the third thing you can do? Just realize that right now you're not going to want to experiment with a bunch of new categories. So you know what your best sellers are. You know what items do really well for you. Double down on those items right now. I mean, this probably comes without saying, but sometimes it's nice to help, have that reminder. You also want to make sure you're cross-listing to more marketplaces now more than ever after, eBay has, we don't want to get into it, but like they're making some changes, right, with their promoting listings general. And the more that I think about it, the more concerned I get. But we've already talked about this in the past, right? We've already talked about it. My hope and we shouldn't have to, make assumptions, right? We shouldn't have to wonder, what am I going to be getting for this extra cost? And, my hope was, oh, they've got all this new technology, right, with AI and AI agents, and they've got all this data. Of course, they're going to be giving us more for our money, giving us more value for our money. That may not be true. So start cross-listing, guys. That way you're not just so dependent on one marketplace like eBay when they make changes like this that really could have a significant impact on your bottom line. Automate. So I am a big proponent of automation. It saves time and it also, kind of makes things less stressful. So in terms of, when you start cross-listing to more marketplaces, it does start adding another layer of stress and another layer of complexity. So when you are cross-listing, you want to make sure you have an inventory management system that, takes the items down when they sell on one platform, lets you have, visuals of where things are and what you need to be doing and how things played out, right? So automate to reduce time. That's one way, using a system like Treecat, right? That does sales detection and auto delist. What other automations we have? Delist, relist automation we have, which is set and forget, and we have Poshmark sharing automation. So you can automate also taking out the white background. We have bulk ways to do things in bulk. So yeah, automation will really help save time and save stress. The other thing that's really important, like I said, is photos, right? So we do have a new, and photos are becoming more and more important now, right? Because everything is, needing to have these crisp white backgrounds, because you're competing, you have the opportunity now to compete with bigger brands. And so it's really important to like take out the white background. Let's do this. I'll show you how easy it is. Okay. So if I go into one of my older listings that I determine needs to have the background look better, what I can do is click on the photo and I can say fix image background, and it's going to make it look much better. Okay. It's going to make it look much, much better. So I save that and then I save it here, and then I can just do an update to my marketplace. So that's extremely important these days, to make sure that your photos are looking good. And that is a free feature when you're using Treecat. And if you're cross-listing with Treecat, that becomes a free feature for you to use. And I think it's a really, really important. Sorry? Okay, I will get to questions in 1 second. I just want to finish my little presentation here. So you're refreshing your photos. I noticed this pop up in my TikTok. There's apparently some movement where people are saying don't buy anything November 25th and through December 2nd. So that's not great. We'll talk about that in a second. But the last thing I wanted to remind you about is not to forget self-care during this busy time period, right? So make sure you're feeding yourself, make sure you're hydrating yourself, make sure you are moving, like get up and stretch. And like I'm relying on my crock pot right now. It's not a crock pot, it's like a Instant Pot, and it does, you can let you saute, you can do crock pot, you can do pressure cooking, and it's just like a really great thing to have for like a one pot meal. So make sure sometimes you can forget to eat, or you can eat, crappy stuff, and that's not going to help you. So don't forget about self-care. So those are the top 9 things you can do. The other thing was, because like there's some weird, like people saying don't buy. The other thing that I have started doing is I have started adding, because I want people to know that I'm a small business. So I go into my, I started adding ships from USA, right, in my description, because I want people to know that I'm a US seller. And I also am now putting into my description small business owned and support small business, so that people out there who are protesting buying or whatever, they will know to buy. It's okay to buy from me because I'm a small seller. So anyway, so there are things you can do. Okay, so I guess we need to get to some questions. Yeah. So question from LH073. I hear Posh wants the cover photo white, no background. I heard that too. And so that's something that you can easily do with Treecat. I think they're requesting that because they're going to be moving to a different photo aspect ratio. And so if the photo is white, when they add the extra room onto they changed the photo aspect ratio from 1x1 to what's the one like a rectangle, then you don't have to do anything. You can just keep your photos with the white background, and then they'll add like a little extra white background. I think that's why they're doing that. Did you see Riley Root's video about eBay? I'm reading from my tablet here so I can see the comments. Did you see Riley Root's video about eBay promoted listings? eBay Australia implemented attribution model. It did not increase sales, but did increase costs. Yeah, I saw that. Actually, that's why I was so upset this morning. They said that one of their users who was in Australia said that they had been doing the promoted listings with the attribution model already in eBay Australia. And apparently it did not increase their sales, but it actually did cost them more money. And that was super depressing to hear that. Cause I was like kind of hoping that eBay would be adding some extra cool, targeting or something. Cause they have, like I said earlier, they have the data, right? They have tons of user data. So they could easily do that. They could easily use AI agents to make the seller experience, getting more sales better and getting what we're paying for. But I don't know. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to take a wait and see approach. I know that right now, my ROAS, return on ad spend, on eBay is like I pay $1 to get $33 in sales, which is phenomenal. It's really good. I mean, I don't know if there's any other marketplace that does that type of model. It's usually pay per click, right? I don't exactly know what I'm paying for though. Is it impressions? Am I paying for ads? I don't know, but I know that my return on ad spend is pay $1 to get $33. So that's great. So even if that decreases like by 50% and I'm paying $1 to get $16 in sales, I don't know if I'd still do it. We'll see. It's just a wait and see approach. I'm going to test it out. Okay. Let's see. Here's another question. Am I the only one seeing sales really tank in September and October? My electronics listings are doing worse than ever. So I did not have that experience in September. And actually, I did a video on this a while back that I had great sales in September. And I was giving myself a listing goal. I only listed and cross-listed and did my automations for half of the month in September. But my goal was to really like ramp up, jumpstart my activity in my stores, because I had I don't want to say lazy, but I had a slower August. And so I was like, I need to do something to ramp things up. So for the month of September, I actually did every day I had a listing goal. I did 20 new listings, 20 cross listings, 20 of my old items. I did delist, relist, and then I shared my Poshmark closet all day and at the nightly party. I had Treecat do this for me. And that really made a huge impact in my sales, like were up by like 130% in September. And that's without doing anything this 2 second weeks of the month of September. So I don't know like what you're referring to in terms of, have you been, keeping up with doing new listings? Have you been refreshing old listings? Are you, sharing your closet? So I don't know what your situation is if you're not doing listings and that's why you had a bad September and October. I don't know. I guess it just all depends on the person, what they sell, how much activity is in their store. Okay, question. Should I just block for sales to foreign countries? With all the chaos in tariffs and postal services, I don't want to be stuck with something that won't be delivered or that's stuck in customs. So I actually did that, but I did that for different reasons. And that's because I did a video on this, the video about how to set up the shipping profiles and the eBay policies and things like that. And I realized that I had to change some policies, as well as when I do, you have to toggle it off in eBay. So it's like a 2-step process. And I think I explained that in the video, but should you block foreign sales? It's up to you. It depends on what you sell. A lot of people like to sell internationally. And I think eBay is handling that, a lot of this paperwork and stuff and tariffs and stuff calculations for you. So if that works for you, and if you're getting good sales that way and it's not causing you a problem, go for it. I personally, I sell items that doesn't make sense for me to sell internationally because the sizing is different. So you could order a bra here in the US with the size 36F, and in UK, it's like the same size is a completely different number. It's like 33 double F. It's really weird. So it doesn't make sense for me to ship overseas. So I would say it's dependent on what you sell. Okay, new question. Do you ever give negative ratings on buyers? Is it ever worth it to give a bad rating? I've never given a bad rating. Here's another thing I automated. I actually automated eBay to leave reviews. As soon as they buy it, it leaves a review that says like, thank you for your purchase. I don't remember even what it says anymore, but that's all automated. So I can't really give people bad ratings. But what I do is if there's something that happened, I do block them. So they won't buy from me. They can't see my listings anymore, and they can't buy from me in the future. That's how I personally handle that. We have another question. Why do I have to keep the computer running, my agent, all the time? Is it okay if I turn it off at night? Oh, in terms of Treecat. So yeah, you do have to keep the computer agent running so that it can detect your sales and automatically delist them once they sell. Like if one sells on Poshmark, it will then detect that sale and take it down from eBay and Mercari and whatnot, or whatever platforms you're on. Is it okay to turn it off? You can, and we did implement some logic that will let it do a catch up. So if you feel like you need to turn it off at night for whatever reason, maybe the cost is prohibitive, or I don't know, just know that any sales that happened when you turned your computer off will not get registered onto Treecat until you relog in, and then it will play catch up. It does have logic in there to catch up to what it missed. So, you might have to give it like a half an hour. And if you're doing that, I would say, you can even go and do a delist yourself just to have it happen quicker. Next question. What is it better to just not allow returns on eBay, on your eBay store, to avoid? Oh, so you're saying don't allow returns. Well, honestly, eBay is always going to side with the buyer. So I have two stores. One store, I do allow returns, 30-day free returns, and I pay the shipping. And the other store, I don't allow returns. And the buyer always finds ways to to make it seem like you did something wrong. And, it's a situation where when they are able to somehow convince, and they don't really have to even convince eBay, because eBay is always going to side with the buyer. So it's kind of forced me to allow returns. And then on my second store, on the new listings that I've been doing, I've been allowing free 30-day returns. So I don't think it's worth it anymore to not allow returns. That's just my perspective. Just given, kind of my testing that I've done, the buyer will always be right in terms of eBay's eyes. So how can I get help with Treecat? Is there a way to talk to a human being? Yes, we do have on our website, on our landing page, we do have, we used to have the button right here, but we moved it. And the button is a free, you can click on it to go to Calendly, and Calendly schedules time with tech support, like to have a one-on-one with tech support. But we are now only offering that to current users. So it's not open to the whole entire world. It's only open to current users. And the way that you get to that as a user is you go up to on the right-hand side, like a little question mark on the upper right-hand corner of Treecat. And you click on that question mark, and you'll see support, documentation, and schedule a support call. So that is how you can schedule. That is how you can, if you are a Treecat user, and only Treecat users can schedule one-on-one technical support calls. You can email us at support@treecat.io. And yeah, do we have any other questions? I think that's all the questions I have in the chat. Whew. So how are we doing on time? Oh, it's about 30 after. It's about 30 minutes after. That's about what we usually do. But unless anybody has any other questions they want to ask, let me know. But you can always ask questions to us on our Reddit forum. We answer questions there. We answer questions through support email. And we answer. You can always set up if you're having an issue, you can click again on the question mark and you can click on support, and that opens a trouble ticket, and that helps us, troubleshoot whatever you might be if you're experiencing some things. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And thanks for joining my live stream. It's great to see you all here. Thank you so much. And do me a favor. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. I like to get likes, right? Who doesn't like to get likes? Anyways, like hit the like button and even subscribe. So maybe you're not subscribed. I try to come on here every week, answer questions, provide some good information about e-commerce, and keep you guys informed. So like and subscribe, please. And until we meet again, till next week's Treecat Chat, guys, have a good weekend, make some good sales, and think about the top 9 things you can do to make your life a little bit less stressful and bump your sales this holiday season. And with that being said, guys, thanks again for watching, and mahalo. We'll see you next time on Treecat Chat. Bye.